Have you ever felt betrayed by those who should have loved you the most? Have your dreams ever been shattered by reality? In today's episode of Heroes of Faith, lessons for today. We walk with Joseph through the pain of betrayal, the silence of prison, and the exaltation of purpose. His story proves that when everything falls apart, God is still writing the ending. Joseph was the youngest in the family. He was beloved by his father Jacob, who gave him a special coat. He had dreams, literal dreams of greatness, which he shared with his family. But his brothers didn't see hope in his visions. They saw arrogance. Envy grew. One day when Joseph went to meet them in the fields, they ambushed him. They stripped him of his robe, threw him into a pit, and sold him as a slave. He was only a teenager. His dreams left behind in a hole in the ground. Joseph is sold in Egypt to Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh. He has no home, no rights, no future. But one thing remains: his faith. He works with excellence. He earns trust. In time, Joseph becomes steward of the house, in charge of everything. But again, injustice knocks. Potiphar's wife accuses him falsely. Joseph refuses to sin, but ends up in prison for doing what is right. Years pass. The world forgets Joseph, but God does not. Even in chains, Joseph helps others, interprets dreams, he serves. And one day, Pharaoh has a dream no one can explain. Joseph is remembered. He's called to the palace. Joseph interprets the dream. 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 of famine. Pharaoh is amazed. Joseph is elevated. He becomes governor of Egypt. From prison to power, the famine reaches far. Joseph's brothers come to Egypt seeking food. They don't recognize him, but he recognizes them. Now, Joseph holds power. He could take revenge, but instead, he chooses forgiveness. He reveals himself, embraces them, and says, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." The family is restored. Joseph's dream was never really dead. It was maturing in silence. We often think our stories ended when our dreams were shattered. But like Joseph, we might find that our true destiny was being prepared in those moments of pain. So let's talk about it. What pit have you fallen into? What betrayal have you endured? Maybe it was a broken relationship that shattered your dreams, or a moment of injustice that seemed to have no solution. Joseph's story is a reminder that even in those moments, God is present, working to fulfill his purposes. Now, I know it's hard to see when you're in the middle of the storm, but Joseph's life changed in the pit. His character matured in prison. And when he was called to interpret Pharaoh's dream, he was ready. Joseph's story teaches us that faith isn't about never falling, but rising again with trust in God. That job loss, that heartbreak, that prison of silence, it's not the end. It might be the beginning of a new purpose. Remember, God doesn't always work on our timeline. Sometimes his plans require a season of waiting. Joseph waited 13 years from the time he was thrown into prison until he was called to Pharaoh's court. But during that wait, he didn't waste away. He didn't become bitter. He used his time to serve others, and that's how he caught Pharaoh's attention. So if you're going through a difficult time right now, I want you to remember 2 things. 1, God is with you in the pit. And 2, your story isn't over until God says it is. There's a saying that the wound is the place where the light enters you. In Joseph's case, it was through his wound of betrayal that God brought healing to his family and saved an entire nation from famine. If this episode touched you, like and share it. Subscribe to follow our journey through the heroes of faith. Lessons for today. In the next episode, we'll meet Ruth, a woman who lost everything but gained redemption through loyalty and love. Don't miss it. Maybe like Ruth, your greatest chapter is yet to come. Friends, I believe that God still has plans and purposes for you, even if they seem delayed or impossible right now. Hold on to your faith. Keep serving God in the place where you are, because your moment of elevation may be closer than you think. Before we go, I invite you to become part of our community. Write a comment below, sharing your story with us. Right? I believe God is still writing my story. Let's build a community of faith, healing, and second chances. And remember, our destiny is greater than our pain. What man intends for harm, God can transform for glory. See you in the next episode. Till then, may God bless you and grant you wisdom.